Here we are, out at Lime Creek with the FZR. Out of the garage, we're gonna just take a nice casual ride around the twisties and talk about some of the problems we're having with this bike. But I'm also gonna give you a clue on, what it's like to ride a 38-year-old bike. It's kind of what its ergonomics are like and the lack of so many things. Okay, we're gonna start it up. It's kind of hot, not too hot, not like the last video. Let's turn the key. Got an old school janky key. The triple tree is, got a little marks on it here and there. Turn it on, fuel pump's running. Make sure it's going. We want to put it in neutral. We're not getting into neutral. There we go. Oh, does that sound good? Man, that sounds really good. The FZR1000, I think the biggest thing you'll notice when you get on this bike is how stretched out it is. It has high pegs, probably equivalent to a normal sport bike, like a Panigale or a GSX or a R1. But the handlebars are, and not handlebars, clip-ons, they're not that low, but they're really far out. Like, this thing has a really long torso. So anybody who's tall is going to be cramped in the legs, but nice up front. And then anybody short like me, you're going to be just right in the pegs and the legs, but you're going to be really stretched out. And it puts you behind this big honking piece of glass, or fiberglass. And so it really kind of puts your belly, and the tank's not high like newer bikes. So it's just a different riding feel than your typical sport bike. The bars are on the skinnier side, and because of the bike having a 30-degree, 35-degree pitch forward on the cylinders, it gives it a lower center of gravity, and you can really feel that lower center of gravity. It's a surprisingly more nimble bike than it looks, I think, when you're first approaching it. It kind of looks like it's on the fat side, right? And kind of wears its weight up high, and it doesn't. It's just all plastics. Oh, let's talk brakes. They are soft. They're consistent. They're very, very consistent brakes. But you gotta pull a lot of that lever. So yeah, we're gonna casually ride today because the cops are crawling all over the place. And this bike sounds a lot faster than it is actually going. The list of things I've got to take care of on this bike. I'll keep a laundry list here. But the brakes, probably one of the easier things that has to be done. I think a simple bleed will probably take care of most of the problem. A fluid swap in the hydraulic clutch. The clutch is really stiff. That may be the nature of the clutch, and after changing the fluid, that might not change much, but who knows when the last time the fluid was changed. So we're going to do that. The biggest issue we have right now is the airbox. It's not getting all of the air it needs when it's at full throttle. But yeah, the airbox is funky. So the original design of this thing, the idea was that there was like this forced induction through these tubes, and that goes into the airbox and kind of pressurizes it a little bit. And there's this big, large box that is 80s plastic and deteriorated and is long gone. And keeping that running well anyways, I guess, was a pain. I don't know necessarily, because I don't remember what it was like to run this back in the day. I only know what it's like to run now, and that's without the airbox. So it currently has these cleaner pods on it, and they are definitely choking. And so I'm going to come up with a new solution. But one of the things I want to do in this video is record that airbox before I start tinkering more with it, to see if there's, to measure the induction noise. There goes the sheriff. But yeah, I want to get some induction noise and find out what's exactly going on there. That last pull I just did, right before the sheriff showed up, was about the cleanest pull. Normally there's sort of a stuttering, or, you know. So the velocity stacks are basically non-existent at this point. And we're going to try some solutions out with that and experiment there. And then after that, the rest of the things that need to be taken care of are mostly cosmetic. Got a lot of bolts missing, got a lot of cracks, got a lot of miscolorization. So that's stuff we're gonna take care of too eventually, but really getting this thing mechanically in perfect condition is the goal here. Last on that laundry list is the radiator. So I figured out, if you watched the previous video, the bike was overheating and I wasn't sure why, and you know, it was my first impression, literally first ride, and so I was just kind of getting my bearings on this thing, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And it was overheating, and there's a fuel line issue, and come to find out, so strip the bike down, I'll show pictures of it stripped down. The radiator is dented, not where you would think it is, where the cooling mesh is, but actually on the side. So the bike must have fallen over with its plastics off and dented the output side of the radiator, and it's not all soft hoses. There's a portion of some of the cooling system and hoses that the pipe is metal where it makes bends, and one of those bends is bent and pinched, and so that's definitely affecting the cooling. And then we might have a bad thermostat because the fan's not turning on, or the fan's not broken, or both. So we got that. But I'll tell you what, handling. This bike handles great on the side of the tire. It really, really is fun bike to ride. And you don't have to ride it really fast to enjoy it because it just sounds so good. You can push this bike maybe like 80% or so, and it starts to scrape pegs. Another sheriff. But yeah, it's an absolute blast at just even mellow speeds. It just feels so good. The seat is actually cushy. You know, the pegs are going to be high for a lot of you all that are over 5'8", 5'9", right? If you're 6'2", this bike's going to suck. So I have seen 3 cops out on this road in less than, I don't know, what is it, 6 minutes? So yeah, we're taking it real easy. Keep it under 50. Suspension. It's good. It's good. It's surprisingly competent. It's on the softer side. It is adjustable, but not in your easy way to adjust. And if you notice, the forks have definitely been messed around with a lot. There's rounded over bolts here. So I really don't want to mess around with that too much, considering it's still good right now. And at some point, the fork, it hasn't, the seals haven't been busted. I don't know, for the life of the thing, who knows? But the suspension is surprisingly competent for what this bike is. I mean, it's a better suspension than some modern bikes that I've just recently ridden. So that's saying a lot. That was a run through Lime Creek at a casual pace. I gotta say, that was fun. It's a lot of fun. As you can see, the ergonomics on this bike is very sporty, but it's got a big chunky seat, like I mentioned. And it's got the Vance and Hines. And the rear sets are, you know, I don't know if they make aftermarket rear sets for this. A lot of wear. 18-inch rear with a 17-inch front, dual disc. And here's where this air comes in right here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. How's it going? No, something wrong with the, yeah, fuel line. I made it home. The bike stopped running twice on my way back. One, I thought maybe just ran out of gas. There's no gas gauge on it. I put gas in it. It didn't run. Then I fiddled around with the fueling line a little bit, and and the petcock. The petcock is super sensitive. I don't know if it was not getting enough fuel, or if it's to kind of shakes itself a little bit, or after heat and expansion. But it seems to only happen when the bike is heat soaked. But point is here, I got it back home, so that's good. Did it make a good video? I don't know. I don't think so. The cops, there was so many sheriffs out on the road, I had to take it easy. The GoPro cut out a couple times. The bike cut out a couple times. I'm not even sure like where to start on this bike other than the radiator at this point. I mean, because what if it is a carb issue? I don't know.